God morning. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to daily spiritual practice for a still mind, for epic manifestation, for authentic living from the core of being, for understanding the nature of reality, for going beyond the third dimension, for understanding the patterns and lessons and curriculum of your life, for becoming a spiritual gangster. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath and release thought. Deep breath and release thought. Deep breath and release thought. Going deeper in the mind with every deep breath. Go deeper in the mind. Plunge past the conscious mind. With each deep breath, sink deeper into your mind. Deeper, deeper. With each deep breath, go stiller, darker, quieter. This is training the mind to be still, on command, like a puppy. Deeper into the mind, where no thought lives, past the subconscious mind, deeper in mind, to the superconscious mind, God mind, the quantum field, the all, source. Deep, deep, deep in your mind is truth, undisturbed, unshaken, unmovable. It is a boulder within, a rock of Gibraltar to cling to and root in and stand upon, a firm foundation of truth. It is deep within your mind, undisturbed, where your mind is God's mind. Go deep within your mind with each deep breath. Deep within your mind with each deep breath. Deep within your mind with each deep breath. You are determined to find, to reach, to live in, to dwell from the kingdom of heaven within. The all. You'll know when you've reached it, for it is pure bliss. Energy pulsating, vibrating high. Joy sweeps over the being. Outbursts of love are spontaneous, also known as miracles. This is the miracle mind. Deep within your mind is the kingdom of heaven, completely unchanged by any experience you have lived through in this body or any other body in all directions of time and space and through all dimensions. This mind remains forever unchanged. This is your real mind. This is the real world. Sink deep into your mind, into the real world, away from illusions and fantasies, where we have imagined all manner of horrors put upon our person. Sink deep into the realm of the all, where magic issues forth easily. Breathe deeply and sink deep into your mind and find this profound peace that surpasses and indeed defies all thought. It surpasses all understanding. This is the peace of God. Bask in the peace of God within your own mind without needing anything from the outside. Notice you are at perfect peace and you are not right now using money. Notice you are at perfect peace and you are not right now making love or with a partner. You are with yourself. Notice right now that you are in complete fulfillment and there are no accomplishments to be done or had. Notice nothing is wrong. Notice there are no problems. Notice in this profound peace deep within your mind that there is no issue with anyone or anything, including and especially yourself. Notice quality and the flavor of the infinite field. Live in it consciously, swim in it, disappear the illusions. Choose peace of God. Choose the kingdom of heaven. Choose to be here now. We must choose. We must relinquish and recognize. We must be determined and persevere. We must be willing. And breathe. Breathe. The more you experience the divine mind within your own mind, the less you will create illusions, the less you will foster stories, the less you will recognize self and others as separate, the more you will know love, oneness, compassion, power, wisdom, safety, protection, harmlessness, and all that God is. You are all the divine is. I am. Hold this knowing. This is the kingdom of heaven, and you have found it within your own mind. This is the only thing that can save you from anything. This is the only real thing in the universe. When you open your eyes, be aware you will return to the world of illusions, where it seems that other people are separate from you, and where it would appear that you must accomplish things to prove worth and value, where people are striving, and people are warring, and people are fighting, and people are having all manner of experiences, horrible, and wonderful. You will see a drama played out on the third dimension, a drama that is a never-ending drama. As soon as one crisis ends, here comes another. You've been watching this drama for decades in this lifetime. Perhaps you've become embroiled in this drama on some levels. Now you will know that it is not real. That though you tend to things on the third dimension in all excellence, you do not recognize that the third dimension is the real world. For you have sat in, touched, immersed in, and are now living from the real world, within the kingdom of heaven, the thoughtless realm of infinite peace, infinite love, infinite power, infinite abundance, infinite energy, infinite perfection, infinite beauty, infinite all. No longer do you see yourself as limited in any way. No longer do you see anyone else as limited in any way, knowing that everyone has the exact same access to the kingdom of heaven, and everyone is indeed one with the God mind. We are one. No racial divides, no gender divides, no country divides. Harmonious one. You walk about the planet holding the vibration of oneness, aligned with it, simply aligned with truth. Give appreciation to yourself for taking these few moments to go within and remind yourself of the real world as we do every day and throughout the day, with meditative moments in the middle of all the movement and the caretaking and the nurturing and the creating and the sharing and the loving and the eating and the dancing and the living and the lovemaking. In between all of that, while you are in movement, know that the kingdom of heaven within you is forever still, accessible, and available, no matter what we may be doing. Remember this often. Return to the kingdom of heaven, and we will know the truth. We will realize the veracity of Christ's words. The kingdom of heaven is within. Breathe and be still and know. Notice how free and happy the body feels. Remembering you have a body, you are not a body. Care of the body temple is born of deep love. We recognize the body temple as a vehicle to comport the soul and spirit for as long as we choose to be in this incarnation. Now, as we open our eyes and engage the third dimension, we do so from the kingdom of heaven within. Slowly look down first toward the heart, acknowledging the heart as the doorway, portal to the divine, a portal, an energy center, expanding far beyond the body. See yourself as an energetic being first, having an experience in a body. Elevate your thinking, elevate your consciousness, elevate your mind, elevate your emotions, to elevate your experiences. Breathe. And we slowly open our eyes, remaining ensconced in the kingdom of heaven within. And now from the kingdom of heaven within, giving attention to the third dimension. It's a completely different way of living. Opening eyes slowly. And stretch your head up for a nice stretch in the spine. Look at all of these incredible beings. Look around you at all the incredible beings who have assembled this morning. We give great appreciation and blessing and honor to this universe of life as each and every being here now. We've chosen to come together to change the world. From war to peace, from illness to health, and from poverty and lack of limitation to abundance. We've chosen to do that, and we're doing it every morning. 7 a.m. Eastern Time on 4 platforms. Lesson 71. Only God's plan for salvation will work. Let me go on screen share. That would be a great idea. Only God's plan for salvation will work. If you're brand new here, welcome. We're here every morning at 7 a.m. on 4 platforms: the Reverend Valerie Love Kaisi YouTube channel, the Christian Witches YouTube channel, the Reverend Valerie Love Facebook page at Val Love Inspires, and on Clubhouse in the Christian Witches Club, where we also have our discussion. And we also have discussion in the comments as well. Join any of these platforms, and by all means, share. I'm going to take a moment to share right now on Clubhouse. Thank you. Love is sharing. Love is sharing. Only God's plan for salvation will work. You may not recognize that the ego has set up a plan for salvation in opposition to God's. We may not recognize that something in my own mind has decided that it wants to set up a plan, not only that's different from God's, that is actually in opposition to God's. It is this plan in which you believe. We believe this plan. Since it is the opposite of God's, you also that believe that to accept God's plan in place of the ego's is to be damned. That's what we believe. This sounds preposterous, of course, yet after we have considered just what the ego's plan is, perhaps you will realize that however preposterous it may be, you do believe in it. Well, what is this ego plan that we believe in, even though it's opposite of God's? And we think that if we just accept God's plan, that we're going to be damned. What is this? The ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. Ouch. It maintains that if someone else, my family, my boo, my husband, my lover, my wife, my ex-husband, my baby daddy, my baby mama, my grandmama, my mama, my daddy, the pastor, the teacher, the preacher. Oh, the ego doesn't care to grab anybody and say, if you would just speak or act differently. That's the first thing that the ego maintains. If some external circumstance, or event or change, I need to get out of this house, I need to get away from these people, this money situation is a problem, I don't know why I can't ever seem to get where I want to be. If that just changed, you would be saved. So here's the essence of the ego's plan. Understand very clearly the ego's plan. The ego's plan maintains that if someone else, and we're going to test this today in our discussion, we're going to test this. Just bring up anything that bothers you and see what is the story behind it. It's going to maintain that if someone else, fill in the blank on who the someone else is, just would speak, if they would just say something different, or if they would just act different, and if some external situation or circumstance or event, something out here were different, you would be saved. I would be happy. This relationship would be perfect if you would just stop doing that. Please stop doing that, because it gets on my nerves. And if you stop doing that, this would work perfectly. That is all the marital counseling that ever happened in the history of marital counseling. I was in the marital counselor's office saying that exact thing. And I really thought that was the problem. I believed it. He was the problem. Thus, the source of salvation is constantly perceived as outside yourself. You can't be saved. You can't be happy. You can't be in peace right now like you were this morning in the meditation because they're doing this. Because you want them to speak or act differently, or you want this circumstance or this external thing to change. Each grievance you hold is a declaration and an assertion in which you believe that says, if this were different, I would be saved. You see, if these people stopped discriminating against Black women on the job, I would be saved. If these people stopped discriminating against trans people, I would be saved. If these people stopped discriminating against witches, I would be saved. If these people would stop discriminating against gay people, I would be saved. If this were different, I would be saved. Wow, what a strange plan. And I really believed that plan. Wow, I spent decades on that plan. The change of mind necessary for salvation is thus demanded of everyone and everything except yourself. Ouch! Ouch! This is Christ speaking. This is Christ returning. For me, A Course in Miracles is the second coming of Christ. Christ said that he would return, and he did return, and he began speaking to a woman named Dr. Helen Schuchman, and she was near atheist, didn't really believe, and she started hearing a voice, and she was like, I think we need to start writing this stuff down. And just before she began hearing the voice, what did it say? It said they were in turmoil. She was a professor at a college, Ivy League college. And her and the other professors in the department weren't getting along. They were scrapping and fighting. That's the ego's plan. If you would just change, I would be happy. If you would change, I would be happy. See how insane that sounds? Yeah, that's the premise of all our problems. It's a grievance against someone else. Or if this would change, if this department would change, I would be happy. And so when they were embroiled in all of this heated, they weren't getting along. The department, they were not getting along. And why? Because they were on the ego's plan for salvation. That if you change, I'll be happy. And demanding that everyone and everything be changed for my salvation, except myself. The ego is always going to make you look like the saint. You get off. You get a get out of jail free card. You're always the angel in the situation, and everyone else is the devil. It's always going to be like that. That's the ego's plan for salvation. They're doing it to you. If they weren't doing this, you would be just fine. Because, and here's how you prove it to yourself. I've heard this from many clients over the years. In 16 years, I've been doing this coaching and this incredible work on the planet of changing our minds. That's my job. Change my mind. And through my changed mind, all minds are changed. That's my only job. And in this work that I do of simply changing minds, my mind, I have heard from many people something that was exactly in my mind too. It was a reverberation of what was in my mind. And in my mind, my thought was, I was perfectly peaceful by myself before you came along. So that must be proof that I'm good. No, boo. That's proof that all your issues were asleep inside you and you didn't know that you were this jacked up until someone came along, started pressing your buttons. Now, so that what's the purpose of this exercise? There's a reason the universe works this way so that I can see, oh, I'm the one that needs to change. You don't see Jack when you're by yourself. So you like to stay by yourself because you don't really want to see your shit. I'm so peaceful until they came along. No, you were in denial and darkness until they came along with a light to show you what to clean up in your consciousness. Right? Trust me, I've been there. I believed this plan. I was so in belief of this plan that I was in the marital counseling place. I got counseling for everybody. And in counseling, we just sit to prove our point on who's right. And if you have a good therapist, like we had the blessing to have, she'll help you, or he or they will help you take responsibility for your consciousness, if you have a good one. The role assigned to your mind in this plan, here's what this plan requires your mind to do then, is simply to determine what, other than yourself, must change if you were to be saved. Bam. If you are in the ego's plan for salvation, where two things have to happen. First of all, it's built on a grievance against someone or something. And I need someone or someone to say or do something different than what they're doing for me to be happy, for me to be saved. Or I need this, and for me it was both. And I need this new house. This apartment is a rat trap. This where I'm living is horrible. Right now I'm homeless and I'm couch surfing and I can't stand it. If I just had my home, I would be saved. I'd be happy. These two pillars of the ego's plan are rooted in grievances. Why? Because everyone else, all the power to make you saved, it's outside of yourself. It's with someone else or something else or some external circumstance. Wow, Spirit had us do the perfect meditation this morning. I'm just blown away right now. Thank you, Spirit. I'm just blown away right now. Excuse me, I just have to have a conversation with God on how magnificent this whole thing is. I'm in awe. I have to praise. I'm in awe, Spirit. I'm in awe. That your mind in the ego's plan, see, the course is not leaving anything ambiguous. It's making it very clear. In the ego's plan, your mind has a role. The ego has assigned your mind a role. And what is that role? To determine anything other than yourself that must be changed in order for you to be saved. Who do I need to, that's all this mind is going to do. This mind is going to look and see who can I pin my salvation on that they have to change so I can save and be happy. Now, this is an insane plan. It says it in the next line. According to this insane plan, any perceived source of salvation is acceptable provided that it will not work. Oh, you see, the only thing the ego wants is that it's not going to work to save you. Oh, it said any perceived source of salvation, my boo, my mother, my religion, my church family, my children, any perceived, it says perceived source of salvation outside of yourself is acceptable provided that it will not work. Now, we've already learned yesterday in lesson 70, salvation comes from me. Salvation comes from me and nowhere else. It comes from me, it comes from inside me. I am to go inside my mind and save myself. Why didn't they teach us this in kindergarten? Well, we knew it in kindergarten. In third grade, when we were starting to forget, around 7 or 8, when we were starting to forget because we had spent 7 years on this extreme planet. Why did they not teach us this rather than, the Pinta, the Nina, and the whatever that other third ship was sailing the ocean blue with Christopher Columbus on there? Who the fuck cares about that man who was a liar and a plunderer and a murderer? Who the fuck cares about that? We were supposed to be learning things like this. Never look to anyone else to save you. A Course in Miracles should have been the curriculum in every school all over the world. This ensures that the fruitless search will continue. So here's what the ego is ensuring. It's ensuring that your fruitless search will continue, that you will search and search and search and search and not find, and you will be fruitless and it will never work. For the illusion persists that although this hope has always failed, there is still grounds for hope in other places and in other things. Oh, all those relationships failed, but I can find a relationship that's going to work, and I'm going to work this plan. I'm going to find somebody to pin all my shit on. And then I'm not going to do the work, and I'm going to be free. I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to be so happy. And you make up your mind that you're going to find this wonderful person and you're going to be with this person forever and it's going to be beautiful. And you see the beautiful wedding or the nuptials or the hand fasting ceremony or whatever it is in your jump in the broom, whatever it is in your tradition and your spirituality. And oh, you and this person are going to live happily ever after. When underneath the surface, what we're really saying is, let me find a pin cushion to stick all the pins in of my pain so that they can take responsibility for my salvation and I'll be safe. There's nothing for me to do. Now, this has failed every time. No one's going to take your shit forever. No one. No one's going to let you pin all their stuff on them. No one's going to just let you blame them for everything. No one's going to play that game with you forever. Unless both of you are mutually playing it on each other and you've agreed to mutually play it on each other. Well, you'll never be safe. You'll never be happy. You will never have the peace of God. And you will never be free. So play that game as long as you like. Hey, we got lifetimes upon lifetimes. You could play that game for thousands of years, and one day, you're going to say, wait a minute, I'm done with that. And you're going to drop it like a hot potato, and you're going to come home to the truth that was here all along. So even though it's failed over and over and over, it's not going to work. It has never worked for us. It doesn't stop us from keep going, and this time we're going to make it work. Oh, we're so committed, we're going to make it work. We do not understand that playing in the background. Now, of course, when you walk up to a person, you don't say on a first date, I'm looking for someone that I can blame all my shit on so I don't have to do the real deep work of going within. Are you game? Can I blame all my shit on you and make you responsible for my happiness and my salvation and my peace? No, the state is over. You're creepy and bye and block, right? So no one's going to say that. It's running in the background. It's a background script that we believe. And we play this drama out 50 million ways. Another person will yet serve better. Another situation will yet offer success. You know what? I'm going to move from this place to this place because this house is better. I'm going to move from this relationship to that relationship because they're better than you. You know why I cheated? I cheated on them because you were wretched and they're so sweet. They treat me so sweet. Okay, well, keep going. And we'll check back with you in 6 months or 2 years or 5 years and let's see how wretched that person is too. It's not going to work. This plan is not ever going to work. I just need to tell myself that so I don't do it. Such is the ego's plan for your salvation. That's your salvation. The plan for your salvation is outside yourself. It'll never work. But it doesn't stop us from keep going because we believe the plan. Surely you can see how it is in strict accord with the ego's basic doctrine. Are we ready? Are we ready, family, for the ego's basic doctrine? Remember, the ego is not evil. It's just ignorant. It doesn't know anything about God. It only knows the five senses, and it only knows separation. It doesn't know oneness. Here is the ego's basic doctrine. Seek, but do not find. Ah! Ooh! Seek. Just run around, exhaust yourself, and never find it and sit disappointed. All my life, I'm just looking for love. But you never meditated and went inside and found everything inside yourself. But I've just been looking. And this one betrayed me. And this one left me. This one cheated on me. And this one just treated me so horribly. And my family wasn't speaking to me. And then whatever, family. That is the ego's basic doctrine. Seek but do not find. So you will expend endless energy finding this thing that you think is outside of yourself. For what could more surely guarantee that you will not find salvation than to channelize all your efforts in searching for it where it is not? I have spent decades searching for my salvation where it was not. It wasn't in money. Oh, I used to think I was a financial advisor. I used to teach people, oh, you just have a portfolio and that's going to save you in retirement. Oh, you're going to save all these investments and this is going to be, I don't know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe something comes along and smashes your whole portfolio. It's happened many a times. What people have gone to sleep billionaires and woke up on zero. Some of them jumped off bridges. One of them stepped right in front of a train. There's a very famous story. And the sad news about it was he really hadn't lost his billions. He just thought he had lost his billions. It was some horrible, reversals in the stock market. Looking for salvation where it's not. A secure home. I'm going to buy a home so I can make it secure. I've heard people, these are all stories that I've had in working with thousands of people over 16 years. These are all stories that I have had and stories that I have heard, which are the only ones I can hear are the ones that I've had. So I was on the same plan. Now, everybody has a different way of enacting the plan. Some people think, well, I need to buy a house. This renting is no good. I'm just renting apartments all the time. I want to buy a house. I got to own some property. That's going to make our family secure. And we're going to pass this house down through the generations. I used to think that. I used to think that it's a ridiculous notion. How do you know what's going to happen after you're dead? Even if you write it all on pieces of paper. Don't people change pieces of paper all the time? All the time. Do you know things I've seen heirs do after their people left? But they didn't want it that way. Well, you're in another realm and you don't even care, to tell you the truth. And on top of that, owning real estate is an absolute farce, a lie, and an assault, a would-be assault on nature, because the Native Americans of this country knew you could not own Mother Earth. You can't own a person and you can't own Earth, but that doesn't stop us from being on the ego's plan for salvation and cutting up little parts of the earth and saying, I own this. You own a piece of earth. Okay, you're in a fantasy now. And other people are with you in the fantasy because they write up the papers. Yes, you own this. It's a shared delusion, it's a shared fantasy. Your soul cares nothing of any of it. But that doesn't stop people from thinking it's going to be their salvation. It's going to make them happy. Oh, we're going to have this beautiful home. Oh, we pour so much information. It channelize. It says we channelize all your efforts. Oh, we channelize so many efforts into the home. Oh my goodness, I channelized so much efforts into homes. Oh, I've manifested all these amazing, beautiful homes. This is it. Oh my goodness, this is it. Had this big brand new home. It was gorgeous on the eastern shore of Maryland. Had everything I wanted. Stone front. Oh, beautiful front lawn, drive-in, 2-car garage. My other house had a 3-car garage. It had the backs to the woods. I always said I want the back to the woods. And I would be imagining this house in my dreams. And I would be seeing this house. And I found the house. And here it is, I would be all whipped up and going through neighborhoods of these big, gorgeous, beautiful houses. And oh, what an accomplishment. Oh, success. Placing your salvation in a house. And when I get this house, we may not see it as placing our salvation in a house. We may not see it that way. Let's go a little deeper in consciousness so there will be no mistake. What are you feeling when you are inside? This is what I was feeling when I was manifesting these beautiful houses, when I manifested this magnificent house out on the eastern shore of Maryland. Oh, we're going to be so happy in this home. Ding, 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 ding. There it is. We think happiness is associated with the home. Nothing wrong with houses. Have all the houses you want. I got houses. Nothing wrong. I can take them or leave them right here and now. Wouldn't be no difference whatsoever. Now, I did have to go through a whole lot of houses to get to that point. Wouldn't mean nothing whatsoever. I would just go to another house and another house. I go to houses all over the world. People give me keys to their houses all over the world. They want me to come to their houses. Come to my house, please. Okay. So that's my inner thought. When you're cooking up, look at where you go when you're cooking up your manifestation. Look that you get excited. What is excitement? A form of fear. I'm so excited because excitement is a jitteriness. Ooh, I'm cooking up a plan. Oh, this is going to be so good. Be very careful of the excitement energy. It's a form of fear and it doesn't come from God. I know, and we hear it all the time. I'm so excited. What does come from God? See, excitement is not a tranquil, energetic. And I learned this a long time ago. I was like, excitement. Whenever I felt excited, I was wondering, Spirit, what is this that I'm feeling? I said it's a form of fear. I was like, excitement is a form of fear. What do you mean? Like, notice how when you're cooking up a plan, morning. I'm blessed though. This is your home. Notice that when you're cooking up a plan and you're all in it. Oh, yeah, and then we're gonna do this. Ooh, the excitement. It's coming from the ego. It's not coming from source. What comes from source? Source has enthusiasm. It feels different. Enthusiasm. You feel it different in your body. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is in theos. In theos means in God. Ooh, enthusiasm is a way more powerful, energetic than excitement. Matter of fact, let's see if we can go to, and we'll come right back to this course. I want us to look at the emotional guidance scale for a quick moment. And let's look what Abraham Hicks tells us about the emotional guidance scale. Let's see where excitement is. Is excitement even on here? No, excitement is not even on it at all. Am I missing it? No, there's no excitement on here whatsoever. Wow. Abraham Hicks told us the same thing the angels told me. Here, the emotional guidance scale goes from, if you've never seen it before, just go to Abraham Hicks, the emotional guidance scale. As you can see, just search it. It's 22 energetics. And it's where you are in emotions so you can understand where you want to be from where you are. From books that I devoured in my spiritual journey, Ask and It Is Given. And if you don't have Ask and It Is Given, you are missing the whole boat. The whole boat. If you don't have Ask and It Is Given, the book by Abraham Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. So if you look on the emotional guidance scale, you will see that if you are at even passion is a high vibration, enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness. You're eager to do something, you're enthused, you're happy. Positive expectation and belief is very high. Now, optimism, you see it's going low. Optimism, well, yeah, I'm very optimistic. And you're not yet in positive expectation and belief and knowing. You're not in enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. You're not in passion. You're not in joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love. That's the highest ones. Excitement is nowhere on here. So here's Abraham Hicks and the work that Abraham Hicks does. So you can see that if you are in the excitement of this house, that would not be the highest vibrations. That would be playing along with the ego's plan for salvation that will not work. It will not work. Yet I'm channelizing so much of my effort into creating this house. And I only use house as an example because it was big for me. Creating these houses. And what would happen later? Invariably, because I had unconsciously placed in the house my hopes for salvation, it had to fail. It had to fail. God's plan for salvation works simply because by following his direction, you seek for salvation where it is. Now, the Christian church has taught us, the exoteric Christian church, let me get into my Christian witch for a moment. The exoteric meaning the outer teachings of the Christian faith, has taught us, which is beautiful. It's a ladder. It's like kindergarten. You go up, 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 up. But you can't go up to, multiplication if you don't know the numbers. So church gives you like the numbers, like the 10 commandments: don't cheat, don't steal, don't be hoeing around, don't be doing all these, don't be drinking too much. Because see, these things they know kind of corrupts your soul, right? If you just do whatever you want to do. So you're not going to just do whatever you want to do and whenever you want to do it with whomever you want to do it. So that's beautiful. You must go beyond that, because you can't just be stuck in good and evil, punishment and reward, and expect to ascend your consciousness. So you must learn about law of polarity, which brings all this together, and look at your shadow and look at all aspects of consciousness, which will be done in the inner, or the esoteric, exoteric, outer. You go to church, this is what they teach you. They're teaching this to everyone. Esoteric is the inner teachings, the mystical teachings, the secret teachings, which are the teachings we deal in here in this community, and what you find in the mystery schools. How this thing really works. Wink, wink. Well, when you come into esoteric, see, in exoteric Christianity, they told you your salvation is outside of yourself. You have to get Jesus. If you go into a church and you speak what we studied yesterday in A Course in Miracles, Lesson 70, My Salvation Comes from Me, they will brand you a heretic and a blasphemer. And depending on what year you did it, if you did it in the 1400s to the 1700s and you happen to be in Western Europe, they would have burned your ass alive. So this is very different from what has been smashed into our brains for decades. And even if you did not go to a Christian church, I do want to remind you, if you live in America, you live in a Christian country, so you're still swimming in the Kool-Aid. And even if you didn't drink Kool-Aid and you made Kool-Aid, you still had the red powder on your fingertips. I was like, why are we drinking dye with sugar in it? I don't know. Kool-Aid, I didn't never understand Kool-Aid. But anyway, you're still swimming in the Kool-Aid and you're still all stained up, even if you never set foot in the church, because it's in the atmosphere. Now, if you were in the Middle East, you were in the atmosphere of Islam. You would hear people 5 times a day praying. You would hear this, you would hear that. That's what would be your frame. But since you were in America, your frame is Christianity. This is a Christian country. It is the deepest Christian country in the world. Okay? So with that, you still may not have been in a church, yet somehow we got the exoteric teachings, the teachings that are in the air, they're everywhere. They were in schools in the beginning when people used to pray in schools, that you had to look outside yourself for some salvation. They put this big dude up on a cross, and he looked very sad. Why are you sad if you're saving all of us? I didn't understand these pictures. I didn't see those kind of pictures when I was growing up, because I grew up in the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, and they didn't have any of those pictures like that. All the pictures they had of Jesus was he looked like this Middle Eastern man, and he was always teaching people, and he was always kind and loving and gentle and wonderful and lovely. They didn't have any pictures of Jesus like, oh, and then when I went into a lot of different churches, you see these, I don't know. We have a lot of depictions of Jesus, and some people say that some of these depictions we have of Jesus came from Rome, from one of the Roman emperor, no, one of the popes in Rome, who had a son named Cesare Borgia. And Cesare Borgia was this very nice looking man, according to legend. And the Romans said, hey, how about we use his likeness and make a savior for ourselves and make Jesus. Let's tell everybody, let's start making some artists and pictures and get this into the consciousness of people, in the Middle Ages. Well, in the throughout history, humanity has known that if you put it in pictures and if you put it on TV, if you put it visually, put it in images, the mass consciousness will start to accept these things, right? And because mass consciousness will start to accept it, then they'll keep talking about it. And it's in there now, it's embedded. Well, what we're knowing is that this whole idea of a savior outside yourself, put it in the trash. And the reason we're spending so much time on 70 and 71 is because if you do not understand your salvation comes from you, you are forever damned to look for it from someone else, and you will never be free. But if you're to succeed as God promises you will, God promises you'll be saved, you will succeed, you will be happy, you will be free. You must be willing to seek there only where it is. Otherwise, your purpose is divided. You can't have say I'm going for this house that's going to make me so happy, and yeah, I'm on God's plan. You can't have both. Your purpose is divided, and you will attempt to follow two plans for salvation that are diametrically opposed in all ways. The result can only bring confusion, misery, and a deep sense of failure and despair. This is what I did for a very long time. That's why I was so deep into a depression, and I almost took myself out with a bottle of pills. Why? Because I was trying to work two plans. You can't work both these plans. Pick one. How can you escape all this? Okay, how are we going to escape it, Kahisi? How are we going to escape thinking that other people are happiness, that we're going to find salvation outside of ourselves, that we're going to just, if this circumstance would just change, I'd be good. If this event would just change, I'd be good. If these people would just do something different, I'd be good. How am I going to escape this when I've been in this plan and working this plan for decades? Very simply, the idea for today is the only answer. Only God's plan for salvation will work. Tell yourself that. Only God's plan for salvation will work. 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 Hello? Tell yourself, there can be no real conflict about this. There's no conflict in it whatsoever because there is no possible alternative to God's plan that will save you. His is the only plan that is certain in its outcome. His is the only plan that must succeed. God's plan is the only plan that is certain in its outcome. God's plan is the only plan that's going to win. God's plan is the only plan that I'm thinking about. God's plan is the only plan that I'm living. God's plan is the only plan that I'm even going to allow into my consciousness. Let us practice recognizing this certainty today. It's a certainty. I'm certain to win. I cannot lose on the God plan. And let us rejoice that there is an answer to what seems to be a conflict with no resolution possible. I've searched and searched and searched forever. I've been all over the place. And yet, here's the answer. I have the answer. All things are possible to God. Christ told us that. He says it in the Bible. All things are possible with God. With God, all things are possible. I can come off my crazy plan where I was unhappy, I was dejected, I was depressed, I was cheated on, I was lied against, I was betrayed, people weren't speaking to me, people left me, people didn't like me, people would discriminate against me, ... fill in the blank. All my grievances, everything about them. But somehow, how did I escape any culpability whatsoever? How did I escape? I always came out the angel. Salvation must be yours because of his plan, which cannot fail. God's plan cannot fail. It cannot fail. It cannot fail. Begin the 2 longer practice periods today by thinking about today's idea and realizing that it contains 2 parts, each making equal contribution to the whole. So today's idea contains 2 parts. God's plan for your salvation will work, and other plans will not. We've got to do the relinquish and the recognize again, or the recognize and the relinquish. You got to do both, the recognize and the relinquish, the recognize and the relinquish. God's plan will work, all the other plans will not. Because if you don't deny them, you're going to still try to do both of them. Oh, the ego is so shady. Oh, it's going to still try to have you go for both. Well, you could go for God's plan and my plan. You're going to try going for both plans and you're going to be confused. Do not allow yourself to become depressed or angry at the second part. It is inherent in the first. If only God's plan for salvation will work, then all other plans have to fail. And in the first is your full release from all your own insane attempts and mad proposals to free yourself. See, we've tried all kinds of things to free ourselves. It calls it our insane attempts and mad proposals. Insane attempts to free myself. If I just marry this person, they got money, I'll be good. If I could just get this disability. I've seen people work on papers and work on papers and work on papers and work on papers so that they can get this disability check every month. I've seen people file papers and file papers and file papers and file papers so that they can get some government check every month, and I'll be good. Work and work and work and work to get to Social Security, this pension, I'll be good. Free yourself. These are insane proposals. These are insane attempts and mad proposals to free yourself. They won't work. They have led to depression and anger, but God's plan will succeed. It will lead to release and joy. You see, whether the pension plan comes or not, God's plan still works. Whether you get paid or not, God's plan still works. Whether you're in this house or that house, God's plan still works. Whether this person like me or that person love me, God's plan still works. It don't matter. I got God's plan. That's all you need. Remembering this, let us devote the remainder of the extended practice periods to asking God to reveal his plan to us. Ask him very specifically, what would you have me do? Here goes our prayer that we love. What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom? Every day, ask it. What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom? Give him full charge, full charge, full charge, full charge. Your input is not needed. Give him full charge, because that input, if it's anything other than what God is doing, is going to be from the ego. Give him full charge of the rest of the practice period. And let him tell you what needs to be done by you in his plan for your salvation. Wow, there's a novel idea. Let me not come up with all my plans. Let me not come up with all my ideas. Let him tell me what needs to be done by me in his plan for my salvation. He will answer in proportion to your willingness to hear his voice. You see, the answer comes from the willingness. I've got to know it. I've got to hear it. Refuse not to hear. Tell yourself, I'm not going to not hear. I have to hear. The very fact that you are doing the exercises proves that you have some willingness to listen. See, you're ready to listen. Haven't we had all kind of mad plans? We had this plan, that plan, that plan, that plan. They didn't work. Why not be still and say, okay, let me give God full charge of my mind. Let me let God do this. God, what will work? This is enough to establish your claim to God's answer. The willingness. I'm willing to listen. That's your claim on the answer. In the shorter practice periods, so that's what we're going to do in the longer practice periods. In the shorter practice periods that we have throughout the day, tell yourself often that God's plan for salvation and only his will work. God's plan for salvation and only his will work. God's plan for salvation and only God's plan will work. Be alert to all temptation to hold grievances today. I got something against that person. See, we never saw the direct line, the direct connect between my grievances with people and me keeping myself in hell and going with the ego's plan and not being on the God plan. You see, I cannot be on the God plan and hold grievances, because we've already learned that love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. Love holds no grievances. That's the God plan. Love holds no grievances. Be alert to all temptation to hold grievances today and respond to them with this form of today's idea. Holding grievances is the opposite of God's plan for salvation, and only his plan will work. Tell yourself that. Wait a minute. If I get mad right now and I'm holding something against this person, that is an opposite of God's plan for salvation, and only God's plan for salvation will work. So why would I want to stay in hell? Try to remember today's idea some 6 or 7 times an hour. That means every 10 minutes, because how long have we saturated our mind in what is not the truth? And we're still doing it now out of habit. Take ourselves off the unconscious creation of mayhem and enter the kingdom of heaven in peace. 6 or 7 times an hour, every 10 minutes, maybe every 8 minutes. Only God's plan for salvation will work. There won't be much room in your mind for anything other than today's idea, is what Spirit is saying. There could be no better way to spend a half minute or less than to remember the source of your salvation and to see it where it is, inside my mind. Whew, who knew you were so powerful? God knew all along. We are ready for our first practice period, as we do every morning. 10 minutes. Time starts now. The cats are playing. And and our plan. Hi, sweetie boo boo. Hi, sweetie boo boo. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't play right now. The cats were playing. Hi. You hear this one playing. Oh, you might try to get to this cord because I know y'all like playing with dangling things. Let me move these cords out of the way. That's not for playing. But I'll see if I can find a nice little cord for you because you know how cats love that. Yes, the cats are playing. They were having fun in here while we were meditating. I was like, oh, look, God bought the animal kingdom with us, the kitty kingdom. Hi, kitty. How you loving? Hi, sweetie boo boo. I love kitties. All right, the floor is open. Now, I have a question. I have a question, like Princess. Beloved, when did you raise your hand?
Right when you said the floor is open.
Okay, go.
All right, so I definitely resonate with this lesson. I've always looked for different people to come give me emotional support, different situations to save me financially. With that being said, I always tried to seek approval. If I get the approval of others, I'll be saved, or everything's going to be okay. If I don't upset this person, everything's going to be okay. But when you said that peace comes from within, and that it doesn't matter if somebody's grinding the gears, because when I've learned pause, breathe within, go within, I was able to let go of things a lot faster, especially with road rage and dealing with people. I just say, everything is temporary. Nothing is my permanent situation right now that I'm going through with jobs and trying to figure myself out. And I feel that I am able to let go of a lot of expectations that I put on myself and on other people. Because I always used to think if my family situation was perfect, if I was able to fix my family situation, or like tell people how I feel and they adjust, it'll change. But I had a coach say, look, you're waiting for apologies that may never come. So I myself have to let go and let God be my source, and when you said God is closer to me than my neck vein, I realized I'm the higher self within me is what is most precious to me, what I have, that all I have is my soul and everything. I'm complete.
Mm, mm. Delicious. 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 I love that. I love that, like Princess. Let's go to some comments on YouTube. So Life's Dance, how you love it, Life's Dance, my sister from another mister. If we should not be alone to reveal our growth needs and then not connect to fall for the ego's plan, what should one do? Oh, go within, be still, love, laugh. I know that's right. That never resonated with me, owning property. How you going to charge someone a, that is a gift to humanity? Exactly. We were not born. When you leave with nothing. You don't leave, I'm going to take this land with me. We know instinctively when you leave here, you leave as you came. You came in with nothing on the third dimension and all in the dimensions beyond. You came here with the all, and you leave with the all. All these things on the third dimension, you didn't come in here with them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Inheritance. Where did they get it from? They got it from somebody else. And then where's it going? To somebody else. Ego is edging God out. We have to go within. No one is the same, though we are all one. Can sound a bit contradictory. Exactly. Because it's like flowers. You go into a garden and you have this huge garden. Hold on, let me help the cats out because these two are, you okay? Because y'all are, they having fun. So you look at a garden, and when you have a garden, you have roses, hydrangea, tulips, petunias. All of these are growing from the same soil. All of these are flowers. It's a garden. It's a garden. We don't say, this is a plot with 17 roses, 29 hydrangeas, 38 Easter lilies. We don't say that. We say it's a garden. And we honor that even among the roses, there are no two identical roses. And we see the hydrangea and we love how they blossom. And we look at the tulip and we see them opening in all their different colors. and the irises. No one wants a flower to be another way, and no flowers are fighting with any other flowers. There is no separation according to flowers. There is no separation. There is simply the many ways God expresses. The one expresses as the many. The same energy that makes a flower is making a blade of grass, is making a kitten, is making a tree, is making a bird. It's the same one energy. Is making a Chinese baby, is making a Nigerian baby, is making a rainstorm, it's making a cloud. It's always making something. It likes making things. It likes coming into form and out of form. And it comes into form as a peach and it goes out of form as a pit. Comes into form as soil, it goes out of form as a leaf. This is what this dance of the divine is always doing. That's what the goddess is always doing. She's coming into form and then she's changing her form into some other form. We get caught in the forms rather than seeing the whole garden as one. We don't say, you say, I have a garden. You know, it is one garden with many things in it. I have a flower garden or I have an herb garden. You don't say, I have a collection of this many mint plants and this many cilantro plants. You don't parse it out like that. But people love to parse out things. This country is Ukraine and this country is Russia. And there's our line. And if you step over the line, come on, people. This is inevitably, it's going to lead to war. Inevitably, the ego's plan will always lead to war, desperation, suffering, death, and never finding the peace. Never finding the peace. Isn't that interesting? Who else? Who's next?
Well, I just wanted to say that today you were all up in my business, all up in my house. I said, ouch, so many times. it was definitely eye-opening. And I just told somebody yesterday, if you would only stop doing blank, I would be happy. So when you said that, I about fell out. I just said that to somebody yesterday. Damn. And that person stopped doing the thing I asked them to do, and I felt like I was happy. I was like, ooh, peace. I had a great day. So now I'm just sitting here thinking, well, damn, that definitely was my ego. So I got to the point in the lesson where, that I questioned what would be the appropriate way to be in relationship with others if things do bother us. Yet speaking on them would be egotistical when asking them not to do those simple things when you feel like you would be in literally a blissful situation if certain things just didn't occur. So I guess that would be my question, because I just said that yesterday, and when the thing stopped, I felt blissful.
You felt blissful for a minute until you find something else. You're gonna find something else, right?
Probably.
I always found something else. So I love this question because this is a mastery question, and this question is going lasering in. So let's laser in. What do you do in a relationship when people are doing things, you're in relationship with them, and people are doing things that if they just stop that one thing, you would be in bliss? That's the question, right? Well, what does the Course say? What is Christ telling us about this? Christ is telling us that we are still on the ego plan because we are still looking at someone else for our salvation. Here's the insane plan that the ego has. It says the ego's plan for salvation centers around holding grievances. Someone is doing something I don't like. Was that what it was, Harmony? Someone's doing something you didn't like?
Yes.
Okay. And it maintains, here's the ego's plan for salvation. It maintains that if someone else spoke or acted differently, was that the question? You need to act differently. You need to do something different. Was that it?
Yes.
Then I would be saved. Will be so happy. And you were in bliss, right?
Right.
The whole thing was the ego's plan. The whole thing. But we believe it. That's why we keep doing it. The whole thing was the ego's plan. And so, how do we know it was the ego's plan? Because the source of salvation is constantly perceived as outside yourself. If I have my eyes open and I'm telling someone else, you do something different, and I'll be happy. And I actually experienced that. They do something different, and I'm blissful. I have just enacted the ego's plan for salvation rather than God's plan, which is don't have a grievance in the first place. Ooh. Don't see nothing wrong with what people are doing.
Wow.
Isn't that like, ouch? And this goes back to earlier lessons. I love how the text connects everything. Because remember how the text told us early on in the lessons, it told us, nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. That means this person doing this thing, let's say it was, I'm going to use a simple example that I used to use with my husband. He used to, when we were married, my first husband, we used to have this beautiful wooden furniture. And he used to drink his soda, his whatever he wanted with his glass, and sitting right on the furniture with no coaster. And I had all these coasters, and I was going to try to get him to use these coasters. And I was trying to get him to clean up. And he was messy from the day I met him. I met him when I was 15, 16. His room was an absolute mess. He was absolute messy, so I could have exited right then. But no, I'm going to try to change him. Because if you just follow my rules of keeping this house clean, I'll be happy. I won't come in and be all disturbed because you got this here, and that there. So let's just use the example of a wet cup glass is on the wooden table. It's going to create a circle. I can't get that stain out. We paid X amount of dollars for this furniture. Oh, I had an argument. It was airtight. Oh, the argument is airtight. And the argument is probably right. It's not truthful. It's right. Okay, because it didn't come from God, so it's not truthful, but it is right. Okay, now, these cats are having a ball. Now, the course told us, I don't understand anything that I see. You see, I'm seeing somebody put a glass on a table. What does it really mean? Because I don't know what a table is for. And I don't know what a glass is for. Like, we were that granular in that elementary when we started, right? Then it said, I do not understand anything I see. And then we kept going, and it says, these thoughts do not mean anything. Okay, these thoughts that I have. See, I need to work with myself through each lesson. These thoughts that I have about him putting a glass on the table don't mean anything. Then it says, I'm upset because I see something that is not there. Why am I upset? I'm upset because I've made a story in my mind, and this story only lives in my mind. He wasn't upset. He was drinking his Pepsi. He was happy until I came along, drinking his Pepsi and watching football. He was happy until I came on the scene, which is why the dudes are probably in the room right now talking about, oh man, my wife was just nags me all the way out all the time, you know? So, okay, I'm upset because I see something that's not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. I'm really upset because I'm seeing something inside myself that I don't want to see. And as we continue to go, we say, I'm determined to see. Let me really see what I'm doing. Because I'm not really seeing truthfully, I'm perceiving. These are my perceptions. Perception is a made-up illusion. So let me continue, and then now I'm going to have an attack thought. I'm going to attack that person for what they're doing, and probably that person is just being themselves. They're not trying to make me unhappy. They're simply being themselves. and I'm upset about something they're doing. Is that how it went? Like this person was just simply being themselves and you didn't like, were they trying intentionally to make you unhappy?
No, what's so funny is this, I mean, it was something so simple. Like, it's been going on for like 3 years, and yesterday was the day I finally was like, hey, if you start doing that thing, then things could be different. But like, this was like a 3-year process. And it was something so simple. Like, when I ride in the car, I like to ride in silence. And she really doesn't. So it'll be like watching all these Facebook videos, and it drives me batty. So I prefer when I'm running errands to run them with myself so that I can just be in silence in the car. And she wanted to go with me when I'd already had in my mind that I was going to be riding in silence. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if you really want to know why, because she didn't understand why I always like to ride with myself. So I figured I should just have the conversation. This is what bothers me when you ride with me. I don't like all of that background noise when I'm driving. I like to ride in silence. And I finally got to ride in silence with her in the car. She was happy because she was with me. I was happy because I was still in silence. So I feel like the conversation kind of needed to be had because I was always rushing out the door, and she didn't understand why I didn't want. It appeared as though I didn't want to be bothered, when really I just don't mind if you're there. I just would like to still drive in silence. So I said, well, if you just wouldn't play all of those Facebook videos while I'm driving, I'd be much happier with you in the car, as opposed to, just don't come with me at all.
Okay. Can we go deeper?
Yeah, I know every time I mic, I go deeper.
Okay, so we're going to go deeper, which is beautiful. Why? This is just a question to ask myself. What upsets me about someone else playing the videos? This is just gentle inquiry. That's all. It's not an interrogation of self. Like, what's happening for me? Like when I close my eyes and I'm driving and I'm going within something and I'm in peace, and then I have allowed something to disturb my peace. What is it? What have I said to myself in my mind that causes my peace to be disturbed? What happens?
Actually, when I closed my eyes and looked at it, it took me immediately to my childhood when riding in the car with my parents. Whoever was in the driver's seat, that was the person who got to control the entire environment. They got to control the radio. They got to control the noise level. They got to control the heat, the air, everything, because they were the driver. So when someone is taking the position of the driver, growing up, that's what I was taught, that the driver has the ultimate peace, joy, and comfortability because they're driving. So I guess I took that into my adult life, and I'm like, oh, this is not bringing me peace, joy. Or like, even if I'm listening to meditative music while I'm driving, I love doing that. And then boom, a crazy Facebook video will pop into my meditative music. And I just want to like put you out on the side of the road. Like, I don't know, like I like being in my peace. And when I close my eyes, when you asked to go deeper, that's what I saw. Like being a little kid in the back of the car, making too much noise and quiet because the driver needed peace.
Okay, got it. So could we say that was lesson 7? I see only the past, that I'm not in this right now moment. I'm in my childhood. I was given a promise. I believed that promise. I'm here to collect on that promise because I had to suffer at the hands of the driver. Now I'm going to be the driver. I'm going to make other people suffer. Were you suffering at the hands of the driver, or just uncomfortable, or just didn't like it?
Yes, and yes. I was cold. I didn't like the music. I didn't want to listen to old school.
But that's what the driver wanted. Right? That's what the driver wanted, huh?
Yes, that's what the driver wanted.
That's what the driver wanted. I used to have a similar experience with my husband, and I realized it was in my mind. So, are we seeing, family, for all of us here, because it's not about harmony, it's for all of us, are we seeing that something is coming from a childhood experience that is causing our current way of operating, our modus operandi? Yes? It's very important that we see the line, the connection. She got the connect right away. The Holy Spirit showed her the connect right away. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. Now I'm in a relationship with someone. Maybe they could drive. Maybe I could drive. Maybe they play their music and then I play my music. Maybe we tag team back and forth. I do music, they do a video. I do music, they do a video. Okay, go, it's your turn. And maybe I don't like what they're playing. I don't have to. It still doesn't disturb my peace. I don't have to like what they're playing. If it disturbs my peace, who's that on?
Self.
That's the only one it could be on. Yet in the ego's plan for salvation, what did it say in lesson 71? In the ego's plan for salvation, that we believe it, it says that we may not believe, and we don't realize that the ego has already set up a plan. And no matter how preposterous it is, we still believe in it. You do believe in it. It says that. It says you do believe in it. And family, please don't look at harmony, because any one of us could fall into this trap today. That's what the course calls temptation. Temptation. Ooh, I fell into temptation because I thought if someone else, let's look at the plan again. The ego's plan is very simple because the ego is very elementary. It's rudimentary. It doesn't have, it's not complex. It's not imaginative, I guess we could say. It doesn't have a whole lot of things to go on. So the ego's plan is, it maintains, first of all, the ego's plan is centered around grievances. I don't like something you're doing. Yesterday, what was our, or the day before yesterday, love holds no grievances. So see how these stack on each other? So could you say that there was a grievance, a 3-year grievance, or maybe a grievance from childhood, really, if we went to the core of it?
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't wait to be the driver, and I couldn't wait for my parents to be in the passenger side seat. So yes, I guess it was a lifelong grievance.
So you were going to make them cold and make them hot and make them listen to your music.
Yep.
That's why I'm always laughing, because the things the ego makes up are so insane that you have to laugh at it and to know that this is not your true self. Your true self didn't make up any of that. This is the ego's plan. Okay. So so there's a grievance, the ego has to have a grievance. It has to have an axe to grind. It has to have an insult done to me. It has to have a problem with someone and something. Do you see that? It's forever. When are you ever going to not stop finding problems with people? When? It's never going to happen, because that's what the ego does. It says that in the ego's plan for salvation, there's a role assigned to your mind. And what is the role? To determine what other than itself must change if you were to be saved. It said you must change, not my mind must change. You see, the ego assigns a role to your mind, and in this role, your mind is put to task to do one thing: determine what other than itself must change, other than itself, for me to be saved. What needs to change? The house needs to change. You need to change. They need to change. She needs to change. He needs to change. Find what must change other than itself. When what's the only thing you ever need to change? Anyone?
My mind.
My mind. That is the only thing I ever need to change. All this, I had to have a sit down with them. I had to have a talking with them. I had to tell them. I had to, that's all the ego's plan. And we believe it. I had to take them to task. We had to have to sit down. We had to have come to Jesus. No, I had to change my mind. Just tell yourself that. I have to change my. Now, let me ask a question. How may your mate have felt in that experience? Like you felt as a child, that now I'm going to be on the giving end of what was dished out to me? Like, how, if we had some empathy, how would the other person be feeling?
Probably bad to know that they've been annoying me for 3 years. So I probably made that person feel bad, I'm sure. But at the same time, I felt like, oh, maybe now we can have understanding of the situation. And I never thought, oh, maybe I should just not be irritated by it. That definitely wasn't what I had thought.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking now, Harmony, as you hear this?
Well, of course, now I feel bad. And I'm like, well, damn, that wasn't the proper way to handle that either. Now I know. But it was funny because, like, literally this has been driving me crazy for 3 years. And then today you said exactly what I had said yesterday. And I'm like, oh, well, damn, I guess I should have waited another day. I don't know. But yeah, I feel as though I handled the situation inappropriately.
And don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. And simply because the guilt is part of the ego's plan too, right? So don't feel bad. Simply go to the person and say, oh, you know what? Yesterday, it's all on me. Take complete, total responsibility. Whenever I've taken 100% total and complete responsibility in a relationship, people were forgiving and kind because I was coming with forgiveness and kindness. Please forgive me. Ho'oponopono it. I'm so sorry. Yesterday, I lashed at you for something that I am willing and ready to take responsibility for. Yesterday, I wasn't ready to take responsibility for my mind. You and I, we can ride in the car, we can tag team my music, your music. I'm not ever going to do that again. I'm not going to shut you down. Again, if I do, please remind me of this, that hold me accountable to changing my mind. That's what real grown-up people say. Like me and G would say that to each other. Make sure I don't go off the rails with this because we will tag each other like, sis, you said, oh, we will tag each other to be our greatest for what we have asked to be held accountable for, which is my divinity. Do you really think I could limp around the planet with a cane with Dr. Jiwa as my friend? Do you really think that would go over? Do you really think it would go over? Dr. Jiwa is in a mystery school that if you take a pill, you are out of the mystery school. If you take a pill, you are out of the mystery school. I was like, oh, y'all for real up in this camp. If you take a pill, you are out of the mystery school. Oh, you on medications? You can't be in this mystery school. Why? Because who do you say you are? And you're being held accountable to that. You think a pill is going to save you? Bye. You're not ready yet. Go to the kiddie table for Thanksgiving. You're not ready yet. So please understand, family, don't be upset when you hear examples of extreme adherence to the law, like that man who wanted to be a shaman, and the shaman told him, go live outside for a year in the elements. Pardon me, you start off naked for 1 year, and then on your year anniversary, after the 1 year, we start your training to be a shaman. Don't be mad at that, saying, well, damn, maybe I can up level. Don't be mad that there's a mystery school that if you take pills, you don't have to be in this mystery school. You can be in any mystery school you want. You can be in the mystery school right here, CCW, Covenant of Christian Witches Mystery School. We don't tell you don't have to take pills. We do require that you step up to your greatness, and we do hold you accountable for that. And we don't do foolishness. No mystery school that I know of does foolishness. How does that sound? Ho'oponopono it. I would just go back to the person. Ho'oponopono. I'm so sorry. I was out of pocket. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I would just ho'oponopono it. Ho'oponopono is the perfect structure to have any conversation with anyone where you know you just fucked up. That's all. You know what? Today, play whatever you want to play. And let that be my meditation for me to go within and be untroubled. That's part of the curriculum. Dr. Jiwa said it yesterday. She said all the things we push away, try to shut down. No, you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's part of the curriculum. You don't get to choose what's on the plate. Yes, Alina. Alina says, I cancel out confusion, frustration, anger, unforgiveness, delusion, deception, and destruction. When I cancel these things, I am canceling out my ego. LOL. Wow. I am those things I see as the problem. Yes, I am the problem. In every situation, once you realize that you're the problem in every situation, you'll stop being the problem. You are the only problem everywhere you go. You are the problem. Now that's the truth. And you're the only one that can save you. You are your salvation and you are the problem. Now, which one you going to choose? I would learn to meditate while Facebook videos are blasting. Let me go deeper. This is my meditation practice. Let me see how I can go deeper and deeper into my mind so that I be sure I'm not on the ego's plan for salvation. Because it said if a circumstance or an event were different, I would be saved. I'm going to say no to the ego plan because that plan is not going to work. I'm going to say yes to the God plan. Let me go deep within my mind and find the kingdom of heaven in the unshakable peace, no matter what happens on the outer world. Spiritual gangster. Yes. Harmony, how does it sound?
Yes. Sounds like it. I mean, definitely. I find myself being bothered by so many little things. So this lesson definitely showed me that it's all me. So I take on that assignment to go into my meditative place with a lot of different things. And then eventually I know that the things that I see that irritate me so bad, eventually when I start going it within, and making that my meditation, then I won't see those things.
Latoy, you're next. How you loving?
Loving good. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
This lesson is so good because I don't know what I thought salvation is or what will save me, but to realize that, if this changed, I'll be happy is my ego's form of salvation. Like, it finally hit in. This lesson finally said, come on now. Really? The ego's plan? How have you felt the last few days or few years or few months, and you realize, okay, I thought if something changed, I would be happy. And it's the mind that's tricking you. It's the ego that's tricking you. So this is an really, really good lesson. It finally hit in. 71 lessons and it took me. I finally hit it. Complete.
Latoy, sometimes I'm at 189 lessons. Sometimes I'm 338 lessons, like ding, 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 ding. Dr. G and I were on the phone yesterday for about an hour and a half, or a couple of hours after our experience here in the morning. And we were saying we have been reading A Course in Miracles for over a decade. And how is it that it's brand new? It's like we never read it before. You read it, yet now It's clicking. It's clicking. It's clicking. Congratulations, LaToy. You had it faster than me. I was at 10, 12 years, 13 years.
No, I don't say won't be fighting my ego for a bit with it, but the realization of it, that aha moment of it, will help me, I think, as I keep going with this.
Mm-hmm. That's what I love. We never know in spiritual unfoldment where the aha, the click is going to come. It could be day 59. It could be day 13. It could be day 71. It could be day. I had a profound opening on day 338. 338 is probably one of my favorite Course in Miracles lessons, in addition to 50 and 39. 39 saved my life. My holiness is my salvation, because I was consumed with guilt and didn't know it. Lesson 50 is the foundation for which I served humanity, because in the creation of the ministry, we had to determine which Course in Miracles lesson is the ministry rooted in. What is its foundation? We had to pin, root the ministry in the foundation of law, principle, and truth. And so we had to have a Course in Miracles lesson. And lesson 50 was the one that came to me. I'm sustained by the love of God. So everyone in the course, everyone in this community knows ACIM lesson 50, because you've heard it 50 million times. I am sustained by the love of God in one way or the other, that only love will save you, that only love is all there is, that love is the root of this ministry. And then I had a profound, about 5 or 6, somewhere between 3 and 5 years ago, I had a profound awareness with lesson 338. It hit me like a ton of bricks, and I have been working with this lesson for years. One day it hit me like a ton of bricks. And lesson 338 is, I'm affected only by my thoughts. And why would that be such a profound lesson for me? Because I didn't get it all along. No, I'm affected by you, and I'm affected by you, and I'm affected by you. So Harmony, I may offer that today, if I may offer that as a support, to play lesson 338 over. What I would do is I would just play it over and over and over. So let's go to lesson 338, and let's just listen to it for a moment, because there's this dude with I like his voice, and it's my Course in Miracles voice, dude. And it's on acim.org. And if we go to lesson 338, it's not coming till the end of the year, and we're going to have a party when we're all done with this. If you listen to 338, it's a very short lesson. Here it is.
Lesson 338. I am affected only by my thoughts. It needs but this to let salvation come to all the world. For in this single thought is everyone released at last from fear. Now has he learned that no one frightens him, and nothing can endanger him. He has no enemies, and he is safe from all external things. His thoughts can frighten him, but since these thoughts belong to him alone, he has the power to change them and exchange each fear thought for a happy thought of love. He crucified himself, yet God has planned that his beloved Son will be redeemed. Your plan is sure, my Father, only yours. All other plans will fail, and I will have thoughts that will frighten me until I learn that you have given me the only thought that leads me to salvation. Mine alone will fail and lead me nowhere. But the thought you gave me promises to lead me home, because it holds your promise to your Son.
And that is lesson 338. I'm affected only by my thoughts. I'm not affected by other people. I'm not affected by someone cheating on me. I'm not affected by someone putting a glass on a wooden table. I'm not affected by someone blaring their Facebook videos. I'm not affected by someone lying on me. I am affected only by my thoughts. That's how the system works. That's how God created us. That's why God only tells us, change your thoughts, change your mind. I am affected only by my thoughts. And I did not believe that for probably decades of my life. I didn't believe it. So I had to play it over and over. I would just stick the earbuds in and just walk around playing 338. Just put it on rinse and repeat. As soon as it stops, hit it again. What else are you listening to? You listening to You listening to Cardi B. I love Cardi B. Beautiful. Props to Cardi B. And if you're trying to get your mind right, you better pop in them buds and put some holiness in your ears. I love Cardi B. Listen to all the Cardi B you want. And I hope you get your mind right, because Cardi B got her paper and her life and her kids and her boo and Cardi B changed her mind. She started from here, now she here. She living her life. So while you listening to her, she living her life. Are you living yours? Are you living yours? Who's next?
Greetings, Tracy in the room.
Blessings.
Wow, this changes some things about my coochie too. John, this does. Oh my goodness.
I love it.
I feel so happy and I feel like I've been baptized this morning, this day, and I'm so glad about that. I'll be saying these words I counsel out: confusion, frustration, anger, and delusion, deception, destruction. Well, I'm casting out my own ego. That's a deliverance ministry right now. I just feel so type of way, so I'm gonna have to go phone on somebody too. Harley, you're not by yourself. I was riding the car with someone that hadn't eaten probably in about 30 hours, and the reason they were with me is because they were doing something for me, and they finally got something to eat, and they were smacking, and I said, "Could you just please? I can't think." Oh my goodness, that is so mean. Why did I say that? I need to. So I gotta go Hoko. Oh my goodness. So I see that a lot of my relationships mean I got to grow up. Shit. I got to do some more growing, you know. We think we hit it. Just when I think I'm doing good, you come in here with some more stuff. I said, man, I feel like I'm in a boxing ring. You're slapping me all over. We're the mixed martial arts. I was going to tell some other day. She said, "What are you learning with Reverend Bell?" I said, "Mixed martial arts." She kicking me, she hitting me, she slapping me, she throwing me down, and she throwing me out. Woo, woo, woo. Flying on the wall.
Oh my God. I'm lying, I'm over here crying. This is the first time I ever heard somebody say mixed martial arts.
Shoot. Then I gotta find some shit too. I'm telling my daughter, where is that at? So yesterday when I was doing something, she said, "Mom, you done asked me questions." I said, "Shit, I have to go. I gotta go look for it." I'm just putting all this pressure on you. We go look at some things. And so I went to go renew my license. And I go way an hour or two away, an hour, 10 minutes away, because over here, there's nobody, and my license was going to expire. And I couldn't get an appointment over here. So my daughter drove, and when we got there, she's acting out the lessons that you're teaching us. Wow. That is so weird. Like, I'll tell her what we learned. And so we got there, the person said, "I'm so sorry. You guys came without an appointment on this day, but there was too many people absent today that work for us. And so we can't help you." And my daughter said, "Oh, okay." And went and sat down. I didn't want people talking. And I said, "What's wrong with this child?" So I just found her, and I was like, "Oh." Well, and she said, my daughter said, "Oh, it's so cold. But we come such a long way." And just started looking at the lady. And the lady said, "Well, I'm going to try to see if I can help." And I was like, "What?" And then so I sat down next for my daughter, she says, well, fill out the application and just fill out this application. And then she said, I said, well, we don't have this and that. She said, my daughter, shh, be quiet. You're talking. Just be. And I'm like, who does she think she is? So I just said, okay, I'll stop talking. So the lady says, well, what you can do is just email me your information. You can email me your insurance. You can email me different things. And then we'll just work with it. And I said, oh, okay. So then we emailed her 2 forms of ID. She said, I said, well, I just came here not too long ago to get an ID. I don't know why to get my license. I don't see it. And so she said, we don't let you have both anymore. You can only have one or the other. And then she said, my daughter said, just sat there, and my daughter was going within. And then I swore, go within. So I'm going within. And then sat there, she says, okay, we're going to see you next. And so-and-so is going to take care of you. He's going to come out the back and take care of you. And you just go to station 9, and he'll help you. He's going to take your picture, and we're going to take care of you.
Look at that.
And my daughter said, see, we went from not having an appointment to not being welcome because they were short-staffed. So just go on within. And just go on within. And then I said, oh, okay. And then she said, see, Mom, this is how you go without a job. See, you go within. You know exactly what you want. And then when you know what you want, you just conspire with the universe, Mom. And when you conspire with the universe, people will conspire with you. This is how you go. This is what you do. Okay? And I was like, oh, okay. And then so I just stood there and I got my picture taken and stuff. And I said, can I find that little old lady? She wasn't old. I said, can I find the little lady? She was short and was here. And they said, oh, that's her. And I said, well, thank you, ma'am, for helping us and seeing us and everything. She said, yeah. You were the last person I took without an appointment today. I just felt that it was just, we should do that for you. And I said, well, I really appreciate you. And then we just went on about our day. And then I said, oh, it was a beautiful experience. And I was thinking, wow, I'm having so many different experiences with my children than before. So I told my son's angels to talk to my son about some stuff. And he called me back. He said, hey, Mom, how are you? And then I was like, my daughter was like, how did you get in touch with him? He don't never answer the phone. I said, did you tell his angels to talk to him? He said, now I'm learning something from you. So, okay, baby, I didn't do that. And he called me from another number. I said, so that's his other number. He said, yeah, Mom, lock it in. And I said, okay, well, I just talked to your angels to talk to you. He said, oh, that was straight, because I was sleeping. Someone said, call your mom. And so, wow, I'm learning how to navigate relationships differently. Man, come on. This is when you really start changing, you know that you're the problem. Wow, this is really, really enlightening. Because I've been thinking, well, what if I would have this, and if you would do this, and if you would say this, and if you would do that, and if this person would do this. I know the other day I was wanting my apartment to do something for me, and then I said, my holiness is my salvation. I just sat here saying, my holiness is my salvation. Come on. And then they called me on the phone. They were like, okay, Ms. Brown, this is what we're going to do for you. I'm like, wow. Okay. We are our own salvation. Yes. Wow. I'm just learning that, man, everything is all about me. So if I'm in hell or heaven, that's because of my own damn self. All right, everybody, I rest the mic. This is some really good stuff. This is really some really good stuff. Wow, this is so good. This one thing you made me think of when you talked about on the lesson 338. There's nothing that could actually our own thoughts or whatever. I remember I was young though, somebody pulled a gun on me. And I think the only reason that I didn't get shot is because I wasn't afraid. And my grandmother was alive at the time. She told me that's why I wasn't shot. She was actually, at the time somebody put a gun on me. I was on High Street in Oakland. They pulled a gun. I was in a car and they walked up to me with a gun. I was in somebody's car, the Cadillac with the boom, boom, and it had a second hand. And after it got to 30 seconds, he didn't shoot, and I got mad. So I opened the door, started chasing the person with the gun. And then I went back and got in the car, went to my grandmother's house in the middle of the night. She said, I was just praying for you. And then I said, well, somebody put a gun on me, and I was looking at the clock, and the person didn't shoot. So I was thinking, hey, it's been 30 seconds. What the hell are we doing? So we're going to fight or what? You know, they're going to shoot, what was going to happen? So I just started chasing the person. And my grandmother said, see, God takes care of fools. Okay? Fools and babies. And she just was at that specific time, she got up out of her sleep and started praying for me. And then I went right to her house. You know, I didn't go nowhere else. I could have went home. I went right to her house. I went to her house. She said, I was just praying for you. What happened? And I said, some man put a gun on me. She said, well, what happened? I said, I started chasing because after I was looking at the second hand on the clock, he didn't do anything. So I'm thinking, what are we doing here? She said, because it's food. And so I think about, I didn't even know to be scared. Maybe this would probably save my life, you know? I was too stupid to be scared. There wasn't no mastery in that, but I was thinking, because I wasn't afraid, maybe that's why he didn't shoot, you know? All right, I rest the mic, and thank you so much. I love you, Reverend Bell. I love you, Connie. You know what? You should tell people that come to the mixed martial arts class, everybody. You're going to get your butt slapped around. And then when you think you got the punches down, you think you can duck, man, you're going to kick them. You're going to get below the belt, okay?
Look, Alana, I get the punch first. I'm reading the thing. I'm like, ooh, y'all don't hear me going, ooh, oh, wait a minute. I need a minute. Y'all don't hear me saying that because I be getting it first. Yes, oh my God. Oh, can't you feel it? You can feel it. You be like, ooh, it gets in there.
We don't need to counsel nobody else. Once you counsel us, if only somebody can come in back. If you come in Kaisha's class, this relationship gonna be much better. Well, they ain't in this class. I'm in the class, but the relationships get much better.
That's right.
My daughter was acting out things in the class, and she's not even in the Course of Miracles.
Yes, she is in the Course of Miracles because her mama's here. She's in it energetically every single day.
Yeah, isn't that something?
The power of your mind to change all minds around you. You just go and sit there in the places where it is very challenging to be at peace, like motor vehicles. And you just sit there and you just send peace to everybody. And you just send in peace, and you're just in the bliss and the love, and you're feeling all blissful. Notice how people start helping you. Can I get you something? Oh, which way do you need to go, ma'am? Because you just walk in love. And people's just smiling.
Everything. I was looking at her, I was like, what is wrong with this child?
Are you okay?
Ain't no more room.
And that's what she said before the love came in. There wasn't no more room before love came in. Now that love has entered the building, oh, it's on now, boy. It's a love party. Come on now. Yes. Ali loves us. Yes.
I have an appointment, so I have to leave early. Would you like me to turn off hand raising before I leave out of the room?
Thank you. I just turned off hand raising. Sharon's going to wrap us up after Angel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Angel.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you loving?
Oh, man, my lip over here bleeding. It's like this, it. This lesson right here knocked the shit out of me. It is two things in particular that you said that just floored me. And they were, don't see nothing wrong with what people are doing. And you are the problem everywhere you go. And it's like, oh my God. I feel like when Harmony, when she was talking about how she feels like every little thing, it's like every little thing about people irks me. Like, down to people's grammar. like with writing and listening and how words are used.
Yeah, that's a big one for me too. Oh, girl. When people mispronounce words, you hear the little librarian in the back of the brain. Yep, that's a grievance. Those are grievances. Mm-hmm.
If I hear one more person say women's.
Or axe. You know how people say axe? Ask them. This is not an axe. This is ask. Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I hear it or I read it and I'm just done with whatever you just said. I can't even remember what you said because you just said whatever it was. Like, and I just left it. It's like I have to go within myself and just shut the hell up, Angel. Just don't you say nothing to nobody. Like nothing.
Nothing.
Say anything to anyone. Like you sit here and you create. That's what you do. You sit there and you love and you create, and that's what you just need to do. Because if everything is bothering you, everything about someone is bothering me, then it means it's a whole lot of shit inside me that is not okay. So I just need to be quiet, like don't be around anyone, and just love and just create. Because I'm the problem. Like, oh my God. I did want to share, like, within this whole process of today just was the icing on the cake. But however, I got my journal done.
Ooh, you mean you published a journal?
I did. It was in the review process. I did it the other day, and I was trying to wait until it was actually live, but I couldn't hold it no more. So it was like I did get it done.
Everybody celebrate. Everybody on stage celebrate.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to sit down. I'm sit and not talk. And I have a lot to work on because this lesson, obviously, like I feel like a liar. Like it ain't nothing to say to nobody. Like so I'm complete. It's just this. This I got my word for the day. Like thank you so much, Rev, for whooping my ass today. Of course, I love it. And with that, I'm complete.
Yesterday I said
Angel just gave me a whole bunch more to go in the Ho'oponopono.
We got a whole bunch more grievances we just discovered every time somebody mispronounced something. Oh yeah.
I was like, damn. Yesterday after we rode in Bliss, we were in the store and the roads it was snowing bad yesterday. And she said to someone, the roads are getting badder. And oh my God, I was like, oh my God. Like, so anytime anybody says a word that's not a word and it sounds crazy in my presence, like, see, Angel, now I gotta go do so much more apologizing. Let me disconnect from this call. I'm gonna be apologizing all day.
I'm gonna just play Ho'oponopono. I say that my daily soundtrack.
Keep it going on repeat.
I don't need nothing else.
Keep it going on repeat. As an English tutor, I can relate. Bushwoman. Oh my God. As a writer, as an author, I'm like, wronger. That's not a word. That's not a word. You know, there's a grievance. Finding something wrong.
And again, as soon as she said it, I knew exactly where it was from. Like I said, library. My dad. I would get whooped for something like that. It's a library. There was no anchor. There was no flow. There's no such thing as a flow. It's a floor. Like I'm telling you, I got into so much trouble when I would just say a word in slang. My dad just taught me that was an embarrassment, and that as a Black woman, I already was going to have enough to worry about. So don't add on bad grammar because that's how people, quote unquote, look at us anyway, as that we're dumb or we're stupid. So for me, it's like when someone uses that language, it's like, oh my God, they're going to think we're dumb or we're stupid. Like that's the first thing that pops in my head. And if you're with me, I don't want them to think I'm dumb or stupid because you just said badder, wronger, worser, all of those things.
Library.
So for me, it's like, I get so upset because I was taught at a very young age that if you speak incorrectly, people will associate you with being stupid. So for me, that's a big one. So thank you for allowing me to recognize that before I go into my appointment.
So then I guess none of us can listen to Mike Tyson because he will just have you. If you listen to Mike Tyson, he'll show you how much you hold grievances. Because I used to listen to Mike Tyson. I used to be like, what is he saying? He said a whole paragraph. What did he say? That's me. Ain't nothing wrong with Mike Tyson, okay? That is me. Oh my goodness. All right, we are seeing our grievances. We said, above all else, I want to see. We are seeing our grievances, okay? And Mike Tyson said one of the smartest things I ever heard from anybody. So, grammar does not denote intelligence. It does not. There is no correlation between grammar and intelligence. None. Because you can have a person who has a so-called high IQ who speaks slang, and you can have people speak slang from the hood that got more smarts than the president of these United States. Grammar, intelligence, speaking habits, they have nothing to do with intelligence. They just don't. There's not a correlation. These are assumptions that we make. We make assumptions about people by how they're dressed, how they're speaking, how they're presenting. Oh, they must be. That's not true. It's grievances. It's not true. None of it's true. All right. All right. Let's go to Sharon. Sharon, how you loving?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Sitting here like a sponge, just absorbing all of this greatness. I am just amazed, not in awe. I almost let that come out. I am amazed at what I have learned about myself. And I have lived my life always, going places and getting the same response from different people. So I had created, somebody's telling them something. Like somebody's calling people, telling them to react to me this way. Who's doing that?
Me.
Everywhere I go, I get the same response from different people.
Wow.
I was blaming someone else. I mean, literally. I know that sounds insane, but I was really doing that. And this lesson today made me realize that I was taking that with me everywhere I go. I was the creator of that world that I was living. I was creating before I even got there that they weren't gonna like me.
Come on.
I had that already created.
Oh.
And I was gonna do everything. Oh, see, it's not, whatever they're telling you is not true. But the truth was that it was true. Because I brought it. I bring it everywhere I go. I bring it to the table. So, if I would allow God's plan to be my salvation, then I won't bring what I think is so. It would be what God says is so. This few weeks that I've been in this course and involved in this community has just absolutely changed my life. I have seen miracles happen. I have seen miracles happen. To a friend of mine that is an alcoholic. And we've been praying and talking about it for months and weeks. And he hadn't had a drink for 5 days.
Wow, very nice.
And I said to him, the miracle, it doesn't happen to me. It happens to you. And then it comes back to me. It's in the giving and in the receiving. I give you the miracle. I give the miracle. I give it freely. I can't give it and say, oh, I want it back. I want it for me. No, I want it for you. So in the giving is where the power is. And that giving is how we think about these lessons. I need to stop speaking about anyone other than myself. What I'm getting is that it's what I do and how I give back of myself is what I receive. So if I'm giving you that, oh, I gotta be a certain way and I have to look a certain way and I have to present myself and then want, and expect for you to interact with me a certain way and I'm this, that, and another, then that's what I'm gonna get back. And it may not be what I think, it's gonna be what you perceive me as. So I just think that this course of miracles is absolutely God's plan for us. And I am just so grateful to the Reverend and to all of the people that share their messages. It has just impacted me in a way that I just can't express. I am just eager to get up in the morning. I was sleeping to 10, 11. Oh no, not 7. But when that alarm goes, when the clock goes off, it's like, I have to get up. It's like, this has to be my life. It has to be. I have to do it. It's almost like air and water. I have to have it because this is the plan. This is where we go from here. This is the beginning. It's almost like I was able to clean the whole slate off and say, hey, this is a new beginning right here. This is a new beginning in a way to where you're going to look at your life in a totally different way. You're going to be able to do it God's way this time. I need to get me an accountability partner, probably 2 or 3. But if anyone is interested, I'd love to talk with you and have you make me be accountable. We can be accountable for each other. But I just want to thank you, Kaisi, and thank you, community, for allowing me this space and this stage to have my voice back, to be able to say what is in my heart and to be heard. I'm just grateful again to everyone. I'm complete.
Preach, Pastor. Preach. That is Pastor Sharon. Preach. And you will go forth and give this message of freedom to so many people. Can we see how it's the up-leveling of the Christ message we originally got? Christ is like, okay, here's how you really up-level what I was teaching you the first time I came here. It's an up-leveling. And it's such an empowering message that you have all the power. You do it. Greater works than these shall you do. I love all of you. People are always thanking me, please, don't thank me, thank God. Because I tell you the honest truth, I didn't think of it. It came to me as a divine download and I took action. Because I know the God plan is the only plan that works. All my little plans of what I want to do in the morning and how I think things should go will not work. All other plans will fail. Only God's plan will work, which means all other plans will fail. And when God gives me a plan, I run with it because it works. And it works in ways that I cannot see. I can't see it. I can't know it in advance. So all of you who are procrastinating on the God plan, how am I going to do it? What is it going to look like? Please don't. Please do not. Please run into the God plan. run up to the God plan pool and cannonball yourself straight into it. Because I promise you, it's going to be beyond anything you could have fathomed, and for yourself and others. Because the God plan helps everybody, not just one person, everybody. Everyone is saved in the God plan. That's the only plan I'm on. And when my ego tries to come up with another plan, I'll be like, whoa, 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 that looks like an ego plan. Let me get off that plan. It's not going to work. So proud of all of your family for being here every morning. And you receive the result according to the commitment and the intention you put out. And for sharing to have that extraordinary breakthrough that, oh, this is why people are reacting to me everywhere I go, because that's what I'm bringing. Only that could have come from God. Like Christ said, who do you think I am? And Peter said, you are the Son of the living God. We know exactly who you are. He was like, the only way you knew this is because it was revealed to you by my Father. Certain things you're only going to know because it's been revealed to you by the source of all creation. Sit on God's lap and don't never move. I'm God's baby. That's all I know. Here is what I have been waiting for to buy for the longest. Now, I'm holding up in my hands the 13 Moon Almanac, which is the Star Traveler's 13 Moon Almanac of Synchronicity. And this is put out every year by the Foundation for the Law of Time. It is a nonprofit organization, as you know, and we hear us, or if you're brand new, maybe you don't know, all good. Lawoftime.org. They don't pay me. I am not a spokesperson for lawoftime.org in any kind of financial capacity. They are a nonprofit organization. Please do donate to the Law of Time, Foundation for the Law of Time, which helps us all exit artificial time and return home to natural time. Well, every year we have what is called the Almanac, which is the 13 moon calendar of synchronicity. And it's in book form, and you can also get it in ebook form. So I have the physical book in front of me, and I also have the ebook. Let's pull up the ebook so you can see what that looks like. Where's my ebook? Okay, I have my ebook along here somewhere. At any rate, you say that you can get the ebook right here and have it instantaneously, or you can get the Star Traveler's Almanac, the actual physical paperback book that I'm holding in my hands, or you can do, like I enjoy doing, get both. Now, when you have this Star Traveler's Almanac, there are going to be a few things in here that are really going to help you a lot with the 13 moon calendar. You see, I have studied this Star Traveler's Almanac for years. Every year they come out with a new one. Every year I like to buy it. Now the year goes from July to July. So as you can see here, we are in the year of the yellow electric seed. And the year goes from July 26th to July 25th. And then the new year starts on July 26th, and that's when this new book will come out. So yes, this book has already been out for months, and it is based on a 13 moon calendar. And in it, it has tons of information, more information than you probably ever wanted to know about your galactic signature, your fifth force oracle. If you want to understand all of that, plus read the daily galactic signature for the day, the statement for the day, understand each day, it's all in here. See what moon we're in, it's all in here. So today we're going to go to Gregorian March 11th. Gregorian means on the Gregorian calendar that is from Rome. Well, it's been around longer than Rome. Yet, today's the 12th, not the 11th. Today is Saturday the 12th. And on the Gregorian calendar, it is March 12th, and it is Saturday. On the 13 moon calendar, it is Red Spectral Skywalker Kin 193. I dissolve in order to explore. releasing wakefulness, I seal the output of space with the spectral tone of liberation. I am guided by my own power doubled. And here is the day. You can make notes. And here is the kin number, the sign for the kin, the fifth force oracle that you can fill in, and lots of other information for the day. And at the bottom, there's always a statement for the day that puts you in line with the harmonic order or the synchronic order of the cosmos. Today's statement at the end, at the bottom of the page, says cosmic history is the knowledge of reality that exists above and beyond and even within all human illusion. Cosmic history. So this is the 13 moon calendar. I am so happy to have it. Every year, what I do in the blank pages is I write out the galactic signatures and people that are close to me. I also go deeper into study of the harmonic and of the Dzogchen. I also go deeper into understanding the chakras and their alignment with the 13 moon calendar. I'm also going deeper into the fifth force oracle. I'm also going deeper into understanding capsules and wave spells. There is so much to understand with this that it would take years. I have been learning this for years. And as you know, I have a book called Decode Yourself. Let me share it with you. I'm just going to bring it up now. Decode yourself. Come, decode yourself. Decode yourself. Come, decode yourself. There you are. Decode yourself. And if you desire to buy Decode Yourself, go to ValerieLove.com. This is Decode Yourself. And this will give you a simple entryway to the world of the Galactic Signature. And in addition, Decode Yourself, which you can get at ValerieLove.com right now under books, Decode Yourself will also have you tap into your birth information, including birth angels, destiny markers, your birthday psalm, how to find your birthday psalm, the fast way and the fast way and the longer way. I've done both ways. It works. Everyone has a birthday psalm, how to have your birth tarot cards. You need to get that birth information. You need to get it. Your Eastern astrology, your Western astrology. All right? That's it for today. Everybody on stage, if you can send some love to our whole family all over the world, whether they're present in body or not. Send some love. Love you, family.
Love you.
That's kind of quiet. I don't hear no love. So send some love. Send some love.
Love and light.
Love your family. Peace.